People around here do not spend money on dog training. They do not value dog training. So I can't sell my dog training programs because people around here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first of all, I'm not talking about people around here. I'm quoting other dog trainers. People around here, Indonesians. I'm on vacation right now, so I have no idea how much they value dog training. But I hear this statement so many times from people all over the world, all over the country, in practically every area. There'll be somebody who says this in one town, and a few minutes away is another trainer that I've already worked with who regularly and frequently sells $2, $3, $4, $5,000 programs to regular people who are not like super wealthy. They just happen to get the people who do value the training. So what's up with that? What is the difference here? Is there really a cultural difference or an economic reason why people behave differently in different areas, or why you might be experiencing this phenomenon where people just seem to not value dog training and not see the value in what you do and just frequently tell you no, and it forces you to keep feeling like you need to keep cutting your prices or keep undercharging or keep lowering things? What is going on? Is that really just the people in your area, or is there something else to blame? So one of the things that I think is fascinating is I actually was talking to a trainer several months ago who is in Orlando, and my house where I actually normally live when I'm not out of the country is in Florida as well. So she was telling me about this experience where people in her area around Orlando are like this, that they don't value dog training, they don't like spending money on their dogs, they don't follow through in the programs. It's just something with the people around there. And I didn't say anything at first, but I told her later, I was like, I actually have a house in Florida. I know how people behave in Florida. Orlando's a big town, and there's a lot of population there. So obviously not everybody is the same. There's people of all types pretty much everywhere. And for the most part, generally speaking, people psychologically just pretty much behave the same way from one place to another in most ways. So there, of course, are cultural differences and behavioral differences culturally or geographically in different ways. But is it really this particular way? So one of the things that I always say in my workshops that I always tell everybody about is you have to be careful about blaming things that are out of your control, for saying it's just the way it is, there's nothing I can do. It's really not a good habit to assume there's nothing you can do about a problem. That kind of it takes all your power away. It takes away your ability to say, other people have figured it out. There must be something I need to figure out, or something that I can learn, something that I can control about this situation. Otherwise, if you just always blame the external things, it's people around here, it's the economy, it's the president, it's this, it's that, it's whatever, it's the legislation, it's other dog trainers, it's my competition, it's all the new trainers undercharging, it's all, if you're just blaming all of these external things, you just take away your own power to figure out what you can do. Something might not be your fault, and it might actually be the case. And maybe there is something going on that's not your fault, like the economy being bad, but that doesn't mean there's nothing you can do about it. So you might see this or be tempted to feel this way about people in your area for a couple of different reasons. It might be because you're getting a lot of no's when you do consults. People are telling you it's too expensive, I can't afford it. You're just getting a lot of no's. Or you get clients who don't get the results that you want because they don't follow through and they don't listen to you. So you think it's people in the area just don't value dog training well enough to actually follow through on the program and listen to you. And that might be frustrating for you and causing you to feel like a fraud and for you to feel all this like imposter syndrome because people aren't getting the results that you would prefer in the programs or the results that they even wanted in the program. So depending on which thing you are focusing on, whether it's the results that your clients get or the fact that you're getting no's, there's different things that cause each of those things. For clients that don't follow through and don't get the results, it's usually because they are underpaying. The fact that you undercharged and they paid not that much tends to make them a higher maintenance client with higher standards for what they want, but very low standards for themselves. They don't have a lot of skin in the game. They're not that invested, so they tend to not work as hard. They don't value your expertise enough. They don't have enough invested in the outcome. If they did, they probably would have paid for a trainer that charged more and perceived it as a higher quality, and then they would have been really committed and invested because they paid a lot. So they want to get the value out of it. Higher paying clients almost always are better clients. They almost always get better results because they actually respect and listen to you because they invested a lot of money in your knowledge. They value it more because they invested more. But what if in your programs people are just saying no too frequently? You're just getting a lot of no's during your consults. In that case, obviously it's not necessarily because you're undercharging. You might be undercharging for a variety of reasons, and part of that might be because you've been getting a lot of no's. So if they aren't signing up at all, or they're ghosting you after they contact you the first time, or overall just seeming not committed before you even get them as a client, then chances are they're not seeing the value of buying what you offer more than they value the money. So with marketing and with any decision that we ever make as humans, everything is all about a trade. In this case, it's would I rather keep the money or would I rather keep the problem? So when you are presenting what you offer, there's some kind of disconnect there where they are deciding the money is more valuable than getting rid of the problem. So it's either because they don't understand fully or don't believe fully that your program will help them enough with the problem to be worth parting with the money, or they don't feel that strongly about the problem. But as you can kind of imagine here, that means that there is a huge skill involved in something that you have control over. What do people want to buy? What do they value? What would you put in your programs that would make people see the value of paying you what your services are really worth and what the outcome of the dog's training is really worth? How do you communicate that value to your potential clients so they see that what you do is worth more than just keeping the money? So if you're getting a lot of no's, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are overcharging or that there's something wrong with the people in your area, that they just don't value training and they don't spend money on their dogs or anything like that. Maybe you just need better dog training programs, or you need to know how to describe what you do and what you offer in a better way so they can see why it's worth spending what you're charging. Remember, ultimately, that people are people. They're all humans pretty much everywhere. And there is one universal thing about all people, and that is that they buy dog training because it makes their lives better. They themselves, as the people, they're spending the money on themselves, which means they're not spending the money on their dog. They're not spending money on a process. They're not spending money on something that they either value or don't. Dog training itself. Dog training is just the tool for their happiness. It's something that makes their lives better. They're spending the money on themselves. So in order for them to see it that way, they have to see why your program will do that. How will it make their lives better? How will it make everything more peaceful? Is there any kind of certainty that it'll actually work? All of those things impact whether or not they see the value of what you offer, and that's all communication. And that's all a skill that you can learn and you can get better at, which means you have control over these things, which means you have much more power than you might have thought. And hopefully that gives you a lot more hope and doesn't make you think that you need to now go move in order to make it as a dog trainer. So now the question is, how do you offer better dog training programs and talk about them in a way that people see the value in what you do? This is the answer for that. Head over to makeitasadogtrainer.com. There's tons of other resources there for you to help you with this and many other topics. Or you can watch this super popular video that's going to pop up on the screen somewhere over here, all about creating better dog training programs. And I will see you there.